afternoon, students. You are welcome to today's lecture. I hope you have been enjoying all the lectures we have been doing. Sit back and enjoy today's lecture. In our previous lesson, we studied about the characteristics, functions, and uses of computer systems. The characteristics we discussed here that computers produces information with a greater speed, accuracy, reliability, and stores large data of information for present and future use. We also discussed that computers carry their tasks diligently without making mistakes and they cannot get tired. Also, the functions we discussed are that computers accept data, process data, and display the data for us to use in solving our problems as an information. Also, we study that the uses of computers are grouped into three applications known as standalone applications, embedded applications, and internet application. This will bring us to the lesson we have today, which is components of the computer. Today's topic is components of a computer. Components of computers. Intended learning outcomes. It is expected by the end of this lesson that you should be able to explain the components of computers and also explain the components like the hardware components, software components, and peopleware components, and also state the functions of each of the components of the computer systems. Components of a computer system. Components of computer systems are grouped into two: hardware and the software. The computer cannot perform its tasks without both hardware and software, and also human resources that can make it function very well, which is regarded as peopleware. The computer hardware refers to physical parts of a computer which we can handle. These computers we can touch and feel them with our hands. They are grouped into major three headings: the systems units, input devices, and output devices. What is this system units? The system units includes our motherboard, central processing unit, random access memory. The central processing unit supervises the whole operations of in the computer through receiving instruction from the hardware and the software which is stored in the computer system. It is also made of arithmetic and logical units which is used in calculations like plus, minus, multiplication, and division. And also it uses compares two numbers or items using not or and, which is the logical operations, while the control unit controls and manages the instructions or commands from different parts of the computer. Then the random access memory stores data and information temporarily. Once this computer is shut down or switched off, all the data in the random access memory disappears or wipes out. Still on the functions of the system units, the motherboard. It houses the central processing unit, input and output devices for effective functioning of the computer. The motherboard is also made up of three items: the circuit board, data traffic, and the BIOS. The computer circuit board allows data to pass through to different parts of the computer pathway called the buses, while the data traffic helps in the computer components attached to it and manages the flow of information and data within the computer system. The basic input system controls and manages the booting processes of the computer system. When it is turned on or switched off, it helps in loading the operating system in our computer system and manages the flow of data to attached devices such as the hard disk, mouse, adapter, keyboard and the printers. Still on the hardware of the components of the computer system, we have the input devices, which allows us to enter data, information and instruction into the computer system. And the devices or the input devices we can use is something like our computer keyboard, the mouse, joystick, barcode and the rest of others. All these are used in inputting information or data into the computer system. Still on the components of the hardware system, we have the output devices used in getting processed data or information from the computer system. Such devices are the printers we use in creating copies of information on paper, monitors displays information or text on the screen, the speaker produces sound and make music to be audible to users. Earphones we use them in lis ten ing to music and movies. We have projectors we use in presentation in seminars, lectures or watching of movies. Even braille reader allows the blind people to read digital resources and information from website displayed on their computer system. The computer software, which is one of the components of a computer system, is the engine that drives the computer system because it is a written instruction that directs or instruct the computer on what to do. The computer software allows our system to carry out commands. Without the computer software, the computers cannot carry out its function because there are series of programs which are written to enable the computer to perform its tasks. And these computer software are grouped into three main components, namely the system software, the utility software and the application software. The computers components of the computer system we have discussed are the hardware and the software. We want to talk about the computer software, which includes system software, application software and utility software. These system software are also called operating software that allows hardware components of the computer to come together and function as a unit. They coordinate all the communication of users and other computer software in order to perform a given task. Examples of this system software are the personal computer disk operating system, Unix and even our Windows operating system, which allows the running of more than one application program at a time. The application software allows you to carry out a specific task with the computer system, like the word processing application that permits us to do what? Create, type documents using our keyboard, save and even retrieve and edit and also print the document we have produced. Examples of this application software are Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, WordStar and others. We also have the utility software, which are packages stored in the hardware of a computer that helps us in diagnosing computer problems or dictating or removing and preventing viruses attacking our system. What are the examples of this utility software? We have our antivirus tools for security of files and applications and folders in our computer systems. As we mentioned earlier, that the hardware and software components of the computers cannot work alone. They need people to do what? To operate them. They need people to input the data. That brought about the computer peopleware, which includes people that manipulate or fuse in data or information into the computer system. People like the media stroke a system librarian, computer operators, system analysts, data control officers, computer programmers, system programmers and application programmers. Do you have any question? I want you to attend the learners activity in the discussion forum for this topic 3, components of computers. Discuss the components of a computer system. State how you can use each component to serve the library users. Lesson we have learnt about the components of computers, which includes the hardware components, software and the peopleware. The hard components of the computer system includes the system units, input and output devices. And the input devices are the keyboards, mouse, joystick and others, while the system units includes the CPU, central processing units, the RAM and others. Also, we also learned about the output devices, which gets process information and data out for us for use. And the output devices are what? Our printers, our monitors, our speakers, our earphones, projectors and others. We also learned that the software is the engine that drives the computer. Hope you have enjoyed today's lesson. We'll meet by